Welcome back to OpenLine. Thank you so much for being with us. This hour does go by fast. We have a great conversation about money, which is a topic that stresses a lot of people out, but we're trying to just tackle it.
Yes. Okay. And give yourself a break.
And one of the things you say can make us successful at this and bring peace about financial planning is being educated in it.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of us have gone to college and you graduate with this degree, but you know what? My degree is not in financial planning, it's not in the stock market, it's not in any of that. And I didn't take any one class on that. And that's why we come to people like you.
And do you know why you didn't take a class?
Why?
They don't offer them.
Which is crazy to me. It really is crazy to me, you know? But you are offering some classes coming up.
Yes, we have a few of them coming up. We actually started one at MTSU on Thursday, but we do still have time for one Tuesdays. So it's tomorrow night, and then the following Tuesday night, and then we have, you'll see on the screen, we've got the Mount Juliet Community Center. They're 2 days, 3 hours each day.
Okay.
And there is a small fee for these. When I say it's $49, but it is purely educational, and you are going to get or participants get a 3-ring binder that is just jam-packed full of all the information. One other one, if these dates don't work for you, call our office or log on to johnnavin.com. We have another one towards the end of March at the Williamson County Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
So
what am I going to learn? If I pay that $49, what can I expect to get from you?
You will learn all kinds of stuff, ranging from setting up your goals and your lifestyle and begin to start thinking about what that looks like. There's about 5 or 6 pages just on questions of, I know it sounds daunting, but it's not near as daunting as it sounds, on what your lifestyle might be, and asking some of those questions that we were talking about earlier. You know, what am I going to do? What do I really like? And then there's an opportunity for both you and your spouse to say yes and no. What's really satisfying is I have a lot of couples that'll sit in my office and they'll start talking about what they want to do, and they'll answer some of these questions. They'll be like, I had no idea you wanted to do that. You wanted to write a book? You never told me that. Well, you don't talk about it. You talk about the kids.
Right.
What's going on, or who's picking them up, or what, so it just doesn't come up. So when you sit down and do this, so yeah, everything from goal planning to taxes to investing. But here you're going to get, when we talk we're talking 6 hours. And I give you everything. So there's not a pitch, which is tough not to get when you go anywhere else. Somebody always, it feels to me, has a hidden agenda, and it's typically theirs, not mine. This agenda is yours. So you come in, you paid a small fee, I will give you everything I know in 6 hours. Now there's stuff that we know aside from that, but it is a very, very good Discover Retirement 101. Okay. That we also have coming up, which will be free. Not yet. March is our first one. We're going to do a class. I was talking with my wife, and she said, you know, you should offer a class that says Discover Retirement 101, where people can come in and just learn, just like William, what are the basics? What's an annuity? Right. What's a mutual fund? People throw these terms out.
Like everybody should know them. Right. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, annuity,
and they don't, Right.
Hey, speaking of William, real quick, he is back on the line. He says, we did not quite get his question answered. So, William, it is your turn. Thank you for being with us. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you again.
Well, I appreciate your persistence.
Well, it's been on both ends.
How can we help?
The thing is, my parents died, and I now have an annuity through a very well-known bank. But I cannot get an answer out of them about how it's administered. I do not know if I owe taxes. I can give you the name of the bank if you want it. And I can tell you about how much I get each quarter. And that's all I know.
All right, was it coming from a pension plan?
I don't know. I can't get an answer.
All right, because the bank, now what he is describing is an annuity payment, which is like Social Security or like a pension, or a very, very...
Social Security, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, this very well could be an annuity. If it's annuities are offered through insurance companies, so it would, if it's
through a bank.
Yep, then it's probably. It doesn't mean that it's still not wrapped in some kind of annuity, so it could be. But is there any kind of annuity company name on the statements you get or the check you get?
I don't get checks. I get direct deposit.
All right, do they send you a 1099 or a tax form every year?
They may, but I don't get mail.
All right. Do you know what bank or where the bank is that this comes from? Can you go there?
Yes.
Can you go to that bank?
I cannot. It's Wells Fargo,
That's a big bank.
and it's in Tampa, Florida.
All right. I'll tell you what, I may be able to get some help for you, but I would need to see a statement or something, because the statement's going to have the phone number on there that we can call to get the
That's the
information.
phone number.
You do?
Yes, sir.
Well, how about this, William?
Don't give it to us
Don't it. You know what, William? I'm going to put you back on hold, and I want you to give your name and number to our producer, Courtney, and then she will get that information to John, and you guys can hook up on the phone and maybe sort all this out. How's that sound? Oh, I think we already lost him. Maybe he's already on hold. Maybe Courtney took him. So,
We got
William,
him.
if
Good.
somehow you hung up, call back, talk to Courtney. She'll get your information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
we
because
go.
that would get, there got to be a few pieces there we need some more information on.
Yes.
Then you can
Yeah.
find out what it is, though.
Let's jump back into this,
Okay.
the roadblocks to retirement. The next one we have, you don't use the tax laws to your advantage. Tax time's coming up. I want to
Yes.
know more about this. Give me some examples where we're missing the boat.
All right. Tax laws. Well, we have, I'll see some every so often in the education part, because there is a $10,000 tax use. I see some, and that doesn't really apply to retirement planning, was the first one I thought of. The other one that may help some people now, especially, is this Hope credit. Are you familiar with that? College-age kids can
Right.
use this Hope funding to go to school. It's
Right.
$4,500 per student. So there's some tax breaks there. Specifically now, if I into or flip over to I lost my words here. If
I understand that it happens.
flip over to the retirement side, the biggest thing I think is not taking advantage of all the tax write-offs that you have. So I think a lot of people that I see feel as if they write something off, the IRS is going to come back and they're going to
Yes.
take them to prison.
Yes.
No, it doesn't happen. Here's what happens. When I was younger, I had a shed in my backyard. Okay.
Okay.
No, I know you
I'm
think.
getting a little nervous about
no,
this shed.
don't be nervous. I
Okay.
didn't make money in it. No, what it was is I wanted to buy a shed. I was working out of the house, and I thought, okay, wait a second. Every so often, clients will come because I had a separate office. They would come to my house, and so there was a discussion: should the company write, or should my corporation buy this shed, or should I pay for it personally? So going back and forth, I ended up paying for the shed out of the corporation because clients would come there. I did have an office there, so it was legitimate. In that scenario, if the government ever came back and said, John, you can't write your shed off in your house, we're not going to allow it, what would have happened is I would have had to pay tax on the money for the shed. It was $2,000. So I would have had to pay tax on the $2,000 that they wouldn't allow, and they probably would have given me a $50 fine. So that's what happens if you take a deduction that you shouldn't have. And I'm not saying not. I want you to be moral, legal, and ethical. I just don't want you to be fearful about
Right.
what you can write off and what you can't write off, because that was a viable deduction. Now, on the flip side of that, I've never experienced this, but you don't ever want to push the envelope on your income, meaning if you earned the money, claim it. That's fraud. You go to prison for that one. So deductions, they're going to say, hey, you should have paid tax on this and here's your fine. Lying or not being totally truthful about how much money you make, that becomes
That's a big problem.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not talking, now I open up Pandora's box because I'm sure there's some bartenders or hairdressers or wait staff. I mean, you don't have to, I didn't say that. It's tough to track
tough.
cash.
Yes, it is.
But what I'm suggesting is look at everything that's available to you as write-offs and really utilize it, especially if you have some kind of part-time company you're starting, or you do consulting, or you have income that if you're starting a business out of your home.
That's big.
Yeah, don't be afraid to take your home or take your cell phone bill. Keep track of your miles, your gas. You know, some of the more common ones, if people don't have those, make sure you're contributing to your 401k plan. If you have a 401k plan and they are matching anything, contribute at least to the match. If you have a 401k plan and they're not matching anything, contribute to the 401k plan, because you will not see the money leaving your paycheck. You won't feel it, I should say. You may see it, but you know, for every dollar you put in, it only feels like 70 cents because you're paying tax on it.
Yes.
So, yeah, take advantage of the stuff that you have, and then we can go deeper into IRAs and Roth IRAs and some. Those are just some of the big picture ones that I see.
And when you have some of these complicated scenarios, like you're working out of your house or other jobs that make things a little more complicated, a tax advisor can be worth their money.
Yeah, and find a tax advisor. Find someone. We talk about taxes, we educate in taxes because we're more tax planning. Oftentimes people go to a tax preparer. Big difference. You know, a lot of accountants that I see are not tax planners or tax preparers. And what they do, they take your shoebox full of receipts, they fill out your taxes, they send you something that says, Carrie, I'm sorry, you owe the government.
You owe. Yeah.
And by the way, you owe me $350 too.
Right.
I'm really sorry. See Glenda on the way out, and she'll give you your paperwork. Yeah. People need, and this is where good financial planning people will do this, they'll sit down and they'll say, okay, let's look at the whole picture. How do we maximize these taxes? Because as you get towards retirement, Social Security. How do you pay tax? You're going to pay tax on your Social Security, but there's different thresholds. If you stay below those, you don't pay tax on your Social Security. And it depends on where you pull money from. I thought of another one.
Okay.
Line 8B on your tax return will say interest earned from tax-exempt investments. Why would the government want to earn, which is basically municipal bonds, why would the government want to know how much money you earn from tax-exempt investments?
Because they want to tax it.
They don't tax it on the front page. What they do is they count that, though, in your income for Social Security. So if you had $10,000 from tax-exempt investments, yes, you got a nice break because you didn't pay income tax on that money. But what they do is they raise your income for the calculation on Social Security. So that still counts. And that's what you're going to see a heck of a lot more of in the future. I don't think they're going to come out and raise our taxes that we can see it. They're just going to do it in ways that we can't see it. So you have to know what those are.
But they're still going to get paid. So yeah, if you know ahead of time, you can readjust, perhaps.
And exactly. And I'm not saying be fraudulent. I'm saying take advantage of what the government put out there, and just don't give them money that you don't have to. Because I see a lot of people give money they don't have to.
Nobody wants to do that.
No, you work too hard for it.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more of your calls, questions, and we'll talk a little bit more about financial planning for retirement. Stay with us.